Hi everyone and welcome to Creative Cakes by Sharon. Today I have all of these kids' toys laying around my house, and believe it or not, one of them is going to be the inspiration for this actual Nerf gun cake, which I'm going to show you how to create today. So now before I can start, I need to choose which one of these Nerf guns I'm going to use. As you can see, there are quite a few different colours and designs. I have some small ones, a few medium ones, a large one, as well as this enormous mega one. So I think I'll choose one in the middle and go for this one, which has a little bit of everything in it. So now we can get started. So here I have my cake, which has been baked and cooled, and I've just chosen a cake tin size to suit the Nerf gun that I've chosen, and I'm going to cut it into 3 layers to start off with. Now I'm going to use the Nerf gun as my template instead of a paper template which I normally use in my other videos, and all I need to do is roughly cut the cake around the outline of this toy. I'm not going to discard any of the scraps right at this point because, as you'll see, I'm going to use the extra cake to increase the height of my cake, as well as add in a section that juts out of the top of the cake for the bullet cartridge. The bullet cartridge needs to be rounded off just a little bit on the 2 sides so it looks more like the actual toy. And lastly, I'll cut out a little hole from the top layer of the cake for the little finger space. Now I can fill the cake using some buttercream frosting, and then apply a thin crumb coat all over the cake to seal in all of those cake crumbs from the carving. Once the crumb coat is done, I'm going to put the cake in the fridge for about 15 minutes to form a nice crust. Once the cake comes out of the fridge, I can apply a more generous layer of frosting and then place it back in the fridge, but this time for about 30 to 45 minutes so the entire thing is set nice and firm. Once again, the cake is out of the fridge and I need to smooth out the buttercream by placing a sheet of paper towel over the cake and rubbing it with my hands. This gives a nice smooth finish very quickly and very easily. It's almost time to start covering the cake, but before I do, I need to lightly brush the cake over with some simple syrup. So now everything is ready and I've rolled out some blue fondant large enough to cover the entire cake, and once I lay it gently over the top of the cake, I need to work on smoothing out the fondant and trimming off the excess. Now for this cake, to add lots of details with very little effort, I'm going to use a little wooden sculpting tool as well as a round plunge cutter. Alternatively, if you don't have one of these, you can use the back end of a paintbrush and press into the fondant some line marking details. The little round plunge cutter is great for creating details that look like screws in the gun. Using some grey fondant, I'm going to add some details around the Nerf gun. And an important tip to remember is that when you're adding these fondant details, only brush the simple syrup or water to the area where you want the fondant to stick. That way you can easily position the fondant and cut away any excess without making a sticky mess on the fondant underneath that you want to keep clean. So as I go along, I'll add some black fondant for the handle, and I'm going to use a balling tool to press the fondant into the trigger cavity very gently. To make the impressions for the hand grip, I'm simply going to rub my fingers into the fondant in the exact same grip pattern as if I was really going to hold it. You can see I've added some white accents, and of course I need to cover the barrel section in some orange fondant and create a few marking lines in there as well. Remember also that a plastic toy is made of two halves, so there's a join that runs in the centre, so don't forget to add that in as well. The more details you add to this cake, the better it's going to look. So I've cut out some circles which I'm using for the spot where the darts come flying out of the gun, as well as a little bit of accents to the top of the cake. And for the trigger, I'm just going to cut out a little crescent moon shape using some circle cutters from some grey fondant and press it into the little round cavity. The darts or bullets are simple to make by rolling out some yellow fondant, which actually looks like the foam that they're really made of, into about 2-inch long logs, and using a small circle cutter to cut out some thick orange fondant for the little rubbery suction cups at the top of the darts, and then just sticking them together. These look fantastic just scattered around the cake board. And finally, I'm going to draw on top of the cake the actual Nerf symbol using a black edible marker. Now you can keep this cake as it is, or you can take it to the next level and make it look like it is real plastic by steaming it with a small handheld steamer. You can see how dramatically it changes the appearance in an instant. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It's a super easy and fun cake. I'm sure if this was made for any little boy out there who plays with these Nerf toys, he'd be over the moon with it. The beauty about this cake is that you can make it in any colour or design that you choose to match any Nerf gun toy you might already have lying around at home. If you haven't already subbed to my channel, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button, and don't forget to also check out some of my other videos which you can see on screen now as well. If you do go ahead and make your own Nerf gun cake, I'd love to know about it, so leave me a comment below or connect with me on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram or Twitter. I love seeing what you guys come up with, so don't forget to submit your photos. Also, if you're interested in seeing what a yellow version of this Nerf gun looks like, you can visit my Facebook page, as I have one up there which you can see as well. I hope you tune in next time, and as always, thanks for watching.